Welcome to the Sublime Soiree. I'm Sue.
And I'm Linda.
And we have a fun tutorial today for you on how to make an invitation. We have a special guest with us, Kim Buckosh. Welcome. Kim, before we get started, could you tell our viewers a little bit about yourself and maybe how you got into making cards?
Sure. My name is Kim. I am the wife of Scott and the mother of Autumn. My daughter is soon to be 21 years old, and I started making cards kind of as an offshoot of scrapbooking. When she was little, I started scrapbooking and trying to record memories, and once she got to a certain age where she could sign her name, we started insisting that she sends thank you cards. So we started with just simple little cards, and it grew into a real pastime for me.
So you are going to be sharing with us a little bit about how to make cards. Is that correct?
Correct.
Something simple that pretty much anybody could do.
Absolutely. I
Great.
brought a sample today that you really don't need to have any kind of special equipment to do.
Okay.
Just some glue, some scissors, and paper is really all it is. It's just a basic craft. I went ahead and put kits together for you, and everything is pre-cut.
Okay.
So I can show you a sample of what we're going to make. The card that we're going to make is going to end up looking
Oh, that's so
similar
pretty.
to this. And I
love
gave you
that.
some different patterns.
Okay.
So I just took a basic card base, and I cut those and made those out of a piece of cardstock. So I just took a basic 8.5 by 11 piece of cardstock, cut it in half, and then I folded those in half.
And now you have two cards. Wonderful.
And from there, I just took pattern paper, and it's two-sided. So
Okay.
this particular manufacturer there's a design that automatically coordinates with the other side.
Yeah, that's
So they take the thought out of trying to figure out, does it match, doesn't it match?
Yeah.
I buy a lot of my products at local craft stores as well as some home party supply companies. So what we're going to do is there's two panels, and they are slightly smaller than the card base. So we're going to take one of those white panels, and we're going to arrange these rectangles and squares in a pattern. And they will fit. You can use one side if you like one print better than the other. You just want to arrange them so that there's a little bit of a border around each piece.
Neat.
And then once you get them in a configuration that you like, we will just take some glue and glue them down. Now I brought some different types of glue. Everybody has Elmer's glue at home, and this is absolutely the cheapest and easiest type to use.
Okay.
I brought some glue sticks. I brought a craft glue, and I'm a scrapbooker, so I use tape runners a lot. I brought this to use. Okay. This is probably the most expensive option, but any of these can be purchased pretty easily and used very easily. So once you see the pattern that you like, you're just going to go ahead and glue those pieces down to that piece of white paper.
This is a really fun way for somebody who has that creative juice within them, but maybe doesn't have a whole lot of time to put something fun together. Homemade, handmade.
I think this would be fun too to do with some girlfriends. Just get together and
Absolutely. Little card making party.
Absolutely. I just last month spent a weekend away with girlfriends doing exactly that.
Oh, how fun.
So yeah, and sometimes I will do like little kind of mini workshops for my girlfriends,
Yeah.
and we'll do a couple different sets of
Oh, that's a
cards
great
together.
Okay, Kim, I hope I'm doing this right.
I will take a peek in just a second. I'm sure you are. It's up to you really it's what looks best to you.
Yes, I had my little lines going vertically before, but I decided to be a rebel and go like that.
But I try to get this piece together, and then I can show
fun.
So,
Okay.
so yeah,
How'd I do, teacher?
perfect.
Yeah.
So once you get your panels put on, then we are going to glue this to the card base.
Okay.
So you have a black card base. I gave you my card base over
Oh,
there.
okay.
And you're just going to glue this to the front of the card.
Okay.
And I didn't do a greeting for this card because I figured that would leave it open to be able to be used for
Okay.
a multitude of things. Anything from a birthday card, thinking of you, an invitation, whatever you would want to use this for, I think it would work. So same thing, you just want to make sure there's a nice little border around the edge.
Okay.
Good, yeah. All right. I brought a white panel for the inside of the card. There's no greeting or prose for the inside of the card. This is something I would use for a handwritten note to someone.
Okay.
So I brought a panel that we can use for that. And inside your kit, you're going to have a piece of paper, a strip of paper, and I like to decorate the inside of the cards too. So what I would do here is I would put glue on this little strip of paper, adhere it to the white panel,
Okay.
and it just makes it a little prettier than a simple piece of white paper. If it's longer than you need, it might be cut a little longer. You just take your scissors and cut the excess off the edge. And then once you have that decorative paper attached to the white panel, you'll adhere it to the inside of the card.
So I just did it backwards. But
I bet it'll still work.
it's good to mix it up, right?
That's right.
But that's a better idea. It's cleaner, I think. But that's fun. Okay.
And so really, this is, this is about as simple as you can get making a card like this. I mean, I would send this. Just like this. I did bring a couple other options
Okay.
for us to pretty them up a little bit,
Okay.
and easy ways to make them look a little prettier, a little more fancy. So I cut a little circle panel and I
Okay.
cut a little flower. So if you want to adhere the flower to the middle of the panel,
Okay.
and then you can select a spot on the front of the card to place that flower. You can do, you could put it in one of the panels if you want.
Okay.
I usually do it where a border intersects.
Okay.
Before you place it down, you might want to decide, is this card going to open up this
yes.
way, or is it going to be more like a book open?
Okay.
And that might determine where you place it. I know, decisions. That's the hard for me.
Decisions.
That's the hardest part of making cards is the decisions.
Yes.
But it's also the fun part. Yeah, I grew up dancing, and I always had a creative outlet until I got a little bit older, and my body started rebelling a little bit. So this has been a great creative outlet for me.
That's so
It's
fun.
not the same as dancing, but you're still creating something kind of from nothing and ending up with a pretty product. So, did you guys get your flowers on? All right. So one
Did.
other thing I like to do with these, and I brought a little jewel for the
Okay.
if you decided to put your flower on, I brought a little jewel to decorate the middle of the flower. So
Oh, fun.
I'll just take a little, I don't know, it's a little poker tool. I don't know what it's really called. But these are they already have adhesive on them.
Okay.
And so just for the middle of the flower to add
Definitely
something a little
add
pretty.
a nice touch.
Yeah. If I have a
Pretty.
chance to add sparkle or something pretty to the cards, I typically do. So,
Oh, I love this, Kim. This is so fun.
and
There you
then
go, Sue. Whoops.
And then the last thing, I just wanted to give you an option of when you buy these decorative papers, I brought a couple samples if we can grab them. A lot of times they're sold in 12 by 12 sheets. So a lot of times you'll get,
Get that out of your way.
something this size. So, cutting a couple inches off in a strip, a lot of times you have extras. So I try to do something extra with the envelopes if I can with the
Okay.
decorative paper, and it matches. So this is one type of decorative paper. This is the two-sided paper that I was talking
pretty.
about.
Yes.
You can buy these at Hobby Lobby, Michael's, Joann's, home businesses like Stamping Up sell nice packets, and they're already put together so everything within the packet matches and
Nice.
will coordinate. That's what this particular paper is.
Oh, that's adorable.
They-
I love the black and
They also sell paper pads. Like this is something you can buy at Joann's or a Hobby Lobby, and everything is two-sided. So again, it coordinates. There's two sides,
Okay.
and then everything within the pad coordinates. So you don't have to, it
nice.
takes the guesswork out of it. But say you want to do something particular. You have a baby shower that's coming up, or you have nephews that are in sports, or you have a Disney lover. There's a lot of open stock paper in those stores, and those stores have sales all the time.
Okay.
And you can get paper anywhere from like 25 cents to $1 a sheet.
Wow.
And a dollar
Very
a dollar a sheet is probably retail price. The sale price is usually 4 sheets for $1.
Wow.
Well, with the
that's
size
wonderful.
with the size paper that we, the cuts that we use, you can get quite a few cuts out of this. Well, these
Right.
are just two open stock papers that I found that I liked. I thought the floral was pretty, and then I just found something that coordinates with
Yes.
it.
I like that.
Here's another sample. We're Disney lovers at our house, and here are just 3 open stock papers that, however I would want to use them, they're going to match.
Absolutely.
So that's another option. And you can do anything. Sports, hobbies. I'm trying to think, if you have a farmer in your family,
Yeah.
they've got John Deere and tractors and animals, dogs,
Very
birds,
fun.
cats. So any kind of theme you would want. The last kind of pack that I buy on a regular basis are these little packs, and these are sold in craft stores too.
Okay.
These are designed more for the card maker. Same thing, that they're two-sided and things match, but it's a little bit more manageable size, and they're
Okay.
more affordable.
Okay. Okay.
So those are
Nice.
just paper options that
Wonderful.
I brought. So what we're going to do is, since we've used this pretty decorative paper on the card, we're going to take our envelopes and decorate them.
Okay.
I brought I brought a envelope that has more of a square back, so I'm going to do a stripe much like the inside of the card, but I brought a big piece of paper for you. So you're going to put glue on the outside of the flap,
Okay.
lay the decorative paper on it, and then we're just going to use scissors to trim that,
Trim it off.
and you'll end up with a pretty envelope that matches the card you just made.
And you were saying before that we could take that same decorative paper and put it inside the flap.
You can do inside the flap, outside the flap. It's
fun.
really
Okay, what to
whatever
do.
you prefer.
Okay.
So I'm going to do just a little stripe like the one I put on the inside of the card. And then the card that I'm working on is actually going to be part of a kit.
Oh, okay. Nice.
And it'll be a sample card in a kit.
And I think, if I'm not mistaken, we're going to be talking about a couple of kits here in the next few minutes. But before we do, Kim, you have been, as you said, making these cards since your daughter was very young. How do you like to share your cards with other people?
Gosh, I share them a lot. I have nieces and nephews that none of them live in town. The closest is about 2 hours away, and so just about every holiday I design a card and I send out cards to my nieces and nephews, special little friends, children of friends of ours.
Okay.
And also friends from Autumn growing up, kids that have gone on to college, young adults that are away from home. I try to just reach across the miles and, let them know somebody's thinking about them, somebody's praying for them, and I do that on a regular basis.
That's great.
Not to mention birthday cards. Unfortunately, we've had some funerals here lately, but I make all my own greeting cards. I don't buy anything from a store. Like I said earlier, there's not a lot of pros, but to me, I am really touched when somebody takes the time and sets aside time, makes something specifically for me. So I hope that the intentionality of the time I take to create something for someone else touches their hearts.
Absolutely.
So that's the intent behind why I do it. And it's nice to always have a card on hand, when something comes up.
Yeah.
Whether it's to encourage someone, to thank someone, or, just to let them know you're thinking about them.
I love that.
Absolutely.
It's
I do
unique
too.
and it seems very affordable.
Right.
And you can do what you want.
Right.
I mean, I love that, the creativity of being able to just come up with something.
Some weekends I'll just sit and I'll make 24 cards.
Yes.
I might buy paper like this and make 24 cards, and I won't put greetings on the front or a flower like we did today, and I'll hold them, and then when something comes up and I need a card, I have it. So there's it's nice and it's affordable and it makes it easy in the spur of the moment to use something. I don't have to run out to a store and buy something. But at the same time, I also take the time and plan out time where I will specifically say, okay, I'm going to make birthday cards this weekend for my girlfriends.
Okay.
And so
I love that.
work on it. I design something, and then all my girlfriends, that's the card they get that year for their birthday.
I love that.
And then if there's milestone birthdays, I mark those and make something specific for those milestone birthdays.
Okay.
I do the same thing with, I kind of design a get well card for the year. And that way
Okay.
when a friend ends up being sick, I have, a dozen or so cards made that I grab and go. But I always do a handwritten message in them.
Wow.
That's wonderful.
That is
So you're not spending a whole lot of money, Kim, and yet you're spending of yourself and giving a little bit of yourself each time. And I think that's probably one of the greatest gifts that we can give is a little bit of ourself to other people to really bless them. So
I
thank
hope
you
so.
so much.
Yes,
This is so
thank
fun. I know that I'll be
you.
continuing to. You've given me the bug. I want to go out and make some more cards. So thank you very much.
I did bring another type of card, and it's
Okay.
another affordable way to do this. Now, this is a card that I stamped. I have tons of stamp sets. And,
Okay.
It's beautiful.
It is so pretty.
So this is it's just a simple flower card, but this is another idea, and it's a way I made cards initially before I had supplies. Is there's tons and tons of clip art online
Okay.
that's free,
Okay.
and the cardstock that I use to make these cards, it's the same basic cardstock in the same size that computer paper comes in, 8.5 by
Okay.
11.
Okay.
So you can go online and you actually can print off images
Okay.
and then cut
Okay.
the cardstock. And I just used alcohol markers to color this.
So pretty.
And
Beautiful.
I do a lot of that too. That was before I had the money to buy stamp sets and had a lot of stamp sets. I would just go online and find clip art that was free, and that's another way to do cards.
Wow. And then Kim, you also brought something else. You'll have to show us that. That's really fun.
This is a little set that I made. It looks like a little clutch purse. And then when you open it up, there are 4 coordinating cards. Oh, they're sliding out. 4 cards that coordinate. They're all exactly the same. And
So beautiful.
just a little matching set.
And you stamped, is that stamping on the?
Yes,
on
I stamped the top.
Okay.
And I used decorative paper on the bottom.
So pretty.
Wow.
And then just used a coordinating paper with a couple folds in it to make the holder for it. And then I decorated the outside a little bit.
That's wonderful. So as simple or fancy as your imagination takes you, it looks like. I love that.
These are beautiful.
Thank you.
Well, we have a fun surprise for our viewers here today. I was just going to ask Linda if she would show us.
Yeah.
We have 2 kits that you will be able to win. If you jump on our social media this week, look for information about how you can win these kits.
Right.
And subscribe to our YouTube channel, jump onto our Facebook, like our pages, look at our Instagram feed, like and share. We want others to find out a little bit more about this invitation.
Absolutely. So, speaking of that, we will be talking invitation, as we've shared with you before, all month long, the entire month of April. And next week is no different. We will be talking about God's personal invitation, and we know that there'll be some fun, important information for you to learn during that video. So we hope that you will come back, join us right here at the soiree table. And in the meantime, we do pray that your week is sublime and free above the fray.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kim.
Thank you.